sticking with the environment, there is a growing group of women who say they are on a birth strike. They're too scared, they say, to have children because of what they call ecological Armageddon. Let's meet some of them in an exclusive TV interview. Blythe Pepino, who is here. She's the founder of BirthStrike, and Alice Brown, who's 25 and says she's so scared about the future of the planet it's actually debilitating for her. Welcome, both of you. Why are you on BirthStrike, Blythe?
Because I'm terrified, and that's putting it mildly. So our planet is in a kind of collapse. The natural world is collapsing around us, and that's actually happening right now. And I'm so disappointed by the response by our authorities to this crisis, and so freaked out by it. Everything that I've read, that I've basically, last year I came to the decision that I couldn't bring a child into that. And I was asking around people that I know, put it a little bit out on Facebook, and realised actually quite a lot of other people are making this decision. Yeah, and so we realised it was really, really important to tell the public that there are people out there that are so scared about this that they feel that they can't actually have a family.
And you have come to the same conclusion, Alice?
Yeah, I have. I mean, each day for me is a struggle. I really do. I'm so depressed. I feel so hopeless over how, I'm reading just in the last couple of months even that, insect numbers are plummeting so fast. It now threatens the collapse of nature, that we're losing biodiversity. We're not losing, we're destroying biodiversity so quickly that threatens our food. And the UN have said that could lead to the risk of our own extinction. David Attenborough going on TV to say the collapse of civilization could come from this. And I know that is so hard to really sit with and take in. But I have done that, and that has led to just a fear that I've never felt before. And my decision for being on BirthStrike mostly has come from not wanting to pass that fear on to someone else. If we're in this situation now, even since my parents had me, we've destroyed 60% of life on this planet. What would that be like when my child's my age? Will there be 10% left? That's not just to do with being, a nature wildlife enthusiast like I am. That's dangerous as well.
It's a life and death situation now.
And you don't want to put a child in that scenario. You don't, as you say, you don't want to pass that fear on, or you don't want to continue the impact of the population and the way we live on the planet.
I'm concerned they won't have a life. I'm concerned there is no future for that child. And I've got friends. I just had a friend phone me up and say that she's now pregnant, and it's such a mixed feeling for me because I've got I feel so happy for her at the same time as I'm terrified for that child. And I think there's a lot of people that are having to deal with this massive cognitive dissonance of everything seems normal, but actually, like I think it was Kate Marvel from NASA. And she's a scientist, and she's using the words, this is a slow motion horror story, and we really aren't being carried by our authorities through this crisis. No one is managing this with any kind of responsibility.
Sorry to interrupt, Blythe. This texter says, doesn't leave their name, I'm a woman not having kids because of the planet. Why do we keep breeding and suffocating ourselves? The problem is too many people on the planet. Why does no one see this? We would be culled if we were animals. Instead, we are culling everything. We are the threat. Ray says, guess what? The world is overpopulated. Anything to reduce the population has to be a good thing. How does your partner feel about your decision?
Can I just come back on that, actually, because that's a really important point. So a lot of people conflate what we're doing with advocating for population control. And population is an issue. Even if there was a catastrophic event mid-century, we'd still have numbers by the end of the century that would be a massive problem. But the fact is, and it's been proven, that if we don't change how we live now, we haven't got a chance. So population is something we need to talk about, but it has to be voluntary. And so the changes that we make, that we could possibly make with population, are just not enough to make any kind of difference. And it's also been proven that we can make much more of a difference via sustainability and decarbonisation, reducing how much we're consuming.
Yeah. So what you're doing is not about not adding to the population, it's your worries and your fears about the way we live, and you're not going to bring a child into that. Sorry, your partner, is it a joint decision?
Yeah, it is a joint decision. I think that, you know, if for anybody, it's really hard to emotionally come to terms with a decision like this. And I suppose there is a part of me that hopes that humans can turn this around. I've lost a lot of faith in our ability to do that, because we seem to have been ignoring the subject for a good 25 years since, you know, scientists have given us that notice.
But you mean if things changed, you might reconsider your decision?
For me personally, I think I'm in one of the luckier positions coming into this. I'm 25, you know, that...
What meaning you could change
in the
if
next
things
decade,
change.
Precisely. If there is radical, deep-rooted change within our government, within our media, with the way we live our lives personally, we can turn this around. And you know, I do have the hope for that, but at the same time, I don't with the way we're reacting to it at the moment.
It's going to have to come from everyone united, and across the board. We're going to have to deal with big corporations. We're going to have to deal with politics. It has to be a political thing. It can't be, you know, the previous segment you just did on the little changes that we do as individuals. Obviously, that's really important. But unless we get our authorities telling us the situation, which is absolutely terrifying, but we all have to come to terms with that grief. If we don't come to terms with that grief, we won't be making the changes that are necessary on that level.
Thank you very much for coming on the programme. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you for having us.